Welcome to another session of In Conversations With. We have our guest here today, Zoe Pashley. Zoe's been with us for 4 months now. Maybe I'll let you tell them what you do for us.
Initially, I joined Presensol to help kind of streamline some of the recruitment which we were doing, and then I suppose from there I've also kind of been working with Presensol on kind of wider encompassing HR strategy as well as the recruitment.
Yep.
So
when Luke first approached me and I was telling him about the problems we were having, I felt that this was an awesome thing. I mean, at the moment with a lot of startups and with this whole big wave of innovation and digitization, there's a lot of small companies that are starting up, and we reached a point, I guess, in Presensol Australia particularly, where we reached a point where we're not that big to stand up a whole kind of HR department and a full HR professional, but not not big enough, but not small either, where we now have a lot of HR requirements to better hiring practices and all that. And I think having being able to kind of, I would say, outsource or that bit, that's been really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And the great thing is as well, as you say, Presensol is very open to new ways of doing things and very innovative, and that's really kind of what attracted me as well, kind of working with you. So from a HR perspective, I feel as though kind of I'm working with you to kind of mold with your existing practices. You use, for example, Atlassian. We've got the HR page now on Confluence. For all of the, for the work which we're doing kind of with HR, I'm using a Kanban board on Jira, so we can be agile and I can kind of fit into the way which you work.
HR, agile for HR.
Exactly, which is perfect, because I suppose for me, I love HR recruitment, but what I sometimes see in organisations is people just see HR as this kind of necessary kind of processes, and it's just for processes and payroll. And for me, I see HR as different. I see it as an enabler to the organisation, and I think that HR should work alongside and very closely embed with the organisation, not add new systems, not add new practices, work with what the organisation already has. And that's certainly what I'm trying.
So you've been with us for 4 months now, and obviously you've been through some of the quirkiness and the pains and the craziness that we've gone through. So tell us, I guess, from your perspective, how do you see, what our objectives are and what type of people we're looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just looking at my notes here. So Presensol's vision statement is to be fearless and innovative thought leaders in this world of constant change, which I really like. And I think that obviously the kind of HR and recruitment needs to reflect that. And so when I first started, I suppose I wanted to get a real feel for what is Presensol, what is it about, so that I could really ensure that I'm getting the right people for the organisation. And after spending that kind of first month here, I really got the sense that Presensol really is there is no Presensol fit. The great thing about Presensol is that everyone is unique, and I think when you are looking for people, there's no point in kind of searching for that kind of army of clones, really. It didn't go so well for Star Wars. What we really need is really to see what's going to fit the organisation at the time and ensure we reflect that. So for example, a senior consultant 3 months ago, which we recruit for, might be very different to a senior consultant which we recruit for today, because the organisation has changed within 3 months and the requirements which you need are different. And so I suppose each time we go out to the market and look for a person, I like to think that we kind of we really kind of analyse, okay, well, for this particular role, what is it which we actually need. And for Presensol, I think the type of company and the people which we work for who and like putting forward their ideas, are innovative, but are also have got that kind of humility to be able to say, to accept when they get things wrong, you know, not kind of sulk in the corner if someone says, okay, we don't want to work, you know, we don't think this is a good idea at this time, and that's okay. They go, okay, yeah, no, that's fair enough, that's okay, you know, I accept that this might not be the best way right now. So I think definitely that kind of idea sharing, innovation, working together, but yeah, definitely kind of having that humility as well.
Yeah, we introduced the SEAL training program about 2 months ago, so about 2 months in from when you started with us. So how you know, being a participant and also almost a co-developer of the SEAL program, how do you see that? Have you been part of, I guess, something like that before? Is it unique? How do you see what we're doing good or different?
Well, I definitely think, you know, if you think about the size of Presensol, the fact that you've invested so much in a quality training program really speaks volumes on how Presensol value their employees ultimately. You know, I think every organisation needs to invest in learning and development, and I think for employees, you know, I think it's really high on their list when they're looking for a company as to what are they going to invest in me, you know, what, and I think that the SEAL program provides them that kind of clear outline of what they can achieve. So, you know, for me, I think it's you know, it's very well structured. You know, your graduates come in at stage 1, you know, your senior consultants coming at stage 3 and 4, and wherever you come in, you can see what you need to do to get to that next level. And the good thing is that kind of along the different stages, there are also kind of different avenues. It's not, you know, it's not so kind of straightforward that you kind of have to do this. It's like, okay, well, if you're more specialist at this particular area, this is going to be your pathway. So I think it's fantastic. I think it's something which when I kind of talk to people about the kind of recruitment and what we offer from a training perspective, they're very impressed that I can kind of show them this you know, this SEAL program and the stages. So yeah, I love it.
So I guess, you know, moving to, I guess, candidates and people you talk to outside the market, the environment and culture, I guess, is shifting as well. You know, we have this whole concept of the millennials are now coming out to start looking for work, and they have certain sets of expectations that are quite different, I guess, to you know, Gen Ys like myself and even baby boomers. What are they looking for in a workplace, and how do you see Presensol fit, I guess, or appeal to the market?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I think this goes again kind of back to, I suppose, looking at people's individuality. So I think it's difficult to say, okay, well, what do the market want? Because ultimately, if you look at the Brisbane market and you look at different companies, each different company is going to offer different things, and each different person will want different things. So we can certainly say that, you know, nowadays, you know, people do move perhaps a bit more frequently, you know, between jobs and things like that. But ultimately, what I think is important for companies to get right is really their own culture. You know, if you can get your own kind of culture, what you're proud of, what you love doing, you know, and nurture that. And then once you've got that, then promote that to the market. Then you find that really the kind of what candidates want, the right candidates will then come to you. And it's and so for me, I suppose, you know, when you're interviewing, when you speak to you know, when you come in and you speak to managing directors, part of the interview panel, you can see that kind of culture, that kind of passion coming out in the interview. And you know, as an employee, when you're going to be interviewed, and you know, you go, right, okay, that's the type of place I want to work for. I love the passion that person's putting across. Or alternatively, perhaps it's not for you. You know, alternatively, perhaps we're not the organisation, and that's okay. You know, we're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. And I think being able to go, okay, yeah, you know what, that's fine. You know, that's not my organisation. But for me, you know, I love Presensol, I love the passion, I love the innovation, and I think that promoting that to the market as what we offer to candidates, the right type of candidates will be drawn to us.
Yeah. So it really sounds like what you're saying is, once we get our culture right,
Mhm.
and we kind of we're living and breathing and,
Yes.
and walking the culture, it's natural selection then.
Yeah.
The people who are attracted to the culture will join.
Yes.
And I guess if they join and they feel that, this is kind of not really for us, they will go.
Yeah.
And then we'll end up with a really good mix that's kind of defined by who we are in our culture.
Absolutely, and I think it's a bit of a cliche, but really, people who are happy at work, that's important, because I was literally just reading this morning that happy people in work are the healthiest employees as well, which is a win-win for everyone. Let's face it, we work for a fair few hours of our life, so you want to feel that happiness when you go to work. So yeah.
Well, thanks for your time, and till next time, join us in conversations.